Hello everybody, welcome back. Alright, so today we're going to do some oil painting. I was kind of wondering if I should have done acrylics, but I seen some oils laying around, so I said let's go with the oil. Okay, so here I'm using some burnt sienna. We're going to create a very nice scene here. And I did edit this because I was taking my time, and I didn't pre-mix my paints. So, and then along with the time of me grabbing brushes and stuff. Okay, so we're going to paint a nice land scene here, landscape. And here I'm putting in a few trees. And the only thing I'm using in here is, here and there is a little bit of odorless mineral spirits. Other than that, I'm not using anything. Usually I like to tone the board. This is a canvas panel. It's 11 by 14 canvas panel. I like to tone it mainly so I can see the colors that are going to be on it, right? The true colors. And also so that none of the white comes through. But in this case, having a good time, relaxing. And so I'm using cobalt blue here. I have two blues on here. Cobalt blue is the cooler blue, and then I'm using ultramarine blue, which has a little bit of a reddish tint. It's more of a warm blue. So I'm using the cool blues first. And the parts that I sped up, I'll still walk you through this. I didn't want to bore you. But you'll get a good idea about this. I hope that you enjoy this painting. So what I'm doing here is I'm just drawing lines and shapes and creating my leaves. And by the end of the painting, I'll be putting branches in here and stuff. Most of the time, I always like to do the clouds and the sky first, and then kind of come forward, but this time I went forward to backward. And so just kind of going back and forth. I wanted some of that tree bark to to appear in this painting. This is the underpainting. However, when I do come back, I'm going to video when I go back over this. So, real quick, I took the cobalt blue and I mixed it with a little bit of yellow, because now I'm turning this into some green, okay? And you'll see why here in a minute. So I'm basically just touching it here and there, just kind of pushing it on there lightly. You'll see how this comes out, the shapes and everything, this tree. I did this because I'm about to set the background here, and I didn't want to mix it all in together at once. So kind of giving it more green. Okay, so now the sky. Okay, so the sky over on toward the left is going to be more of a cooler sky, and then it will blend, and that's the cobalt blue, and then it will blend with the ultramarine blue, which will bring it to a more warmer sky. And this all has to do with light, from where the light source is coming from. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover up. Now there's my horizon line. It's about a third down, about a third up from the bottom. So now I'm going to create some trees, a mountain in the back, a hill, and then what we're going to do is it's going to be a whole lot of blue for a little bit here. This painting, I was relaxed doing this, so it took me about 38 minutes to do this, and then, like I said, I'm going to come back and finish it, and then I'll record that, and I'll go ahead and I will put it here on my channel so that you guys could see how I actually finished it. Anyways, I did get quite a lot done, just in, some paintings they take a few hours to do, and even days and weeks and months. But I just kind of, I didn't want to do that with this. It's more of a demonstration, kind of a study. So if you notice, some of the blue I'm putting in here is, there's lighter shades here, darker shades here. And that's just, to give it some kind of depth. And I'm doing it randomly. Okay. I did have a few different brushes I was using. One for the cooler colors and one for the more warmer colors. So here I took some of that cobalt blue and I mixed it with some white and just a touch of yellow in there. Because I want the light source to come from the right side, okay? And over here on the left side, I'm going to be mixing in some ultramarine blue with a little bit of white. Okay, now this is the lake here, okay? So, one thing is really cool about oil painting is they are very forgiving, okay? Might take a little bit longer to dry and stuff. What I plan on doing with this painting here, like I do with my all of my oil paintings, is I give them a lot of detail. And that's one of the reasons why it takes longer to do these, So here's the lake here, and I'm putting in a little bit of white in here. That's titanium white. Even blended it with a little bit of yellow, just to kind of warm it up a little bit. But you'll see how this changes here. You could see it kind of turning a little greenish. It's okay. And over here is the ultramarine blue. More warm on this side. And, I'm going around these leaves, these trees, which ain't no big problem, no big deal. You're sitting around, you're not trying to do it fast and loose or anything. Even though, 38 minutes of just painting, just taking my time is pretty quick for me. Anyways, so just coming around here. So got some warm blues, got some cool blues. It's kind of a mixture there. Now, I mixed a little bit of the cobalt blue with a little bit of red I had here, and I wanted to create some a darker color, almost a violet type of color. I want to make these trees and this hillside mountainside. Really interesting, right? So I'm just coming back and forth. Most of the brushstrokes are up and down. You see I put a little block in there, right dead center for like a tree, like a bush or a tree on the other side of the lake there. And then I'm kind of blending it, you know. Now, I'm not smearing it because of the way that I'm using the paintbrush, you know. I mean, you can easily smear these, right? So I'm just filling in the gaps here with some of that violet type of purplish type of color there. Right now the tree doesn't look like much, but you'll see how I work on this tree and the mountainside and everything else. So now I'm adding a little bit more of the green that I had mixed with between the cobalt blue and the yellow there. You can see just to put in some greenery over here on this hillside. Kind of blending it with the purple color. Just kind of going back and forth here and there. Okay, now this is Viridian, and like I said, I didn't pre-mix anything, so the Viridian came in pretty strong here, and I went over the Viridian a few times here, adding a little bit more yellow, more of the olive color to it, but also letting it blend a little bit here and there. Like I said, I wanted to make this interesting. So putting a little bit more cobalt blue in there. Now I'm kind of working on this shape right up front on the other side of the water there. Just give an idea that there's some brush there. Maybe a tree or a few trees right there. And I got my towel right in front of the easel, below the easel there, where I'm just kind of getting the excess paint off. So now I'm stippling the brush here. As you can see, I'm getting different values and I'm blending at the same time. And above this hillside on a treetop there, I'm trying to give it more of almost like I don't know what you call it, like a fuzzy look toward the top of the tree line there, hills, and the top there. Just to kind of give it that kind of a texture. Okay, so here's some raw umber, and that's on the other side of the shore there. And I'm just kind of mixing in a little bit of white here because this is part of the water, right? So I'm trying to cool down that ultramarine blue a little bit, and you could see the reddish tint that comes from the ultramarine blue. Okay. So I went ahead and I mixed a little bit more green. No Viridian. Diome Viridian is that spot that you see in there. You'll see how I do these, how I did these leaves on here and stuff. I'm mixing a variety of different greens. Some of them are more to the yellow side. Most of them are. And some are more to the dark side of green. But I'm just getting ideas, right? These are the shapes. So now I'm going to end up lightening up. I want some of these leaves on this tree to stick out here. So what I did is I took a little bit of mixture of this and that, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green, and a touch of white. And you'll see how I get these trees, some of the leaves on there to pop out. Got the little tree down there. So this is the very light of the greens. Just here and there. Just to kind of make it pop out. Now when I go ahead and I do, this is the underpainting, so for an underpainting it's, I mean, you can do this in one setting. I mean, I did, but and finish a whole painting, but I'm going to come back maybe tomorrow or the next day and finish the painting up, and I'll record it and I'll put it back on my channel here. So, making some of these leaves stick out by lightening up that. And then what I can do is come back and forth and throw some more darker colors in there. Now, I'm going to do the smaller tree here. If you enjoy my paintings and my videos, please consider liking and subscribing. And I do have a wish list in the description below. It helps support me and my artwork and the channel to help the channel grow. Okay, so now this is raw umber. And now I'm going to fill in the tree bark here. We'll come in. And you'll see how I do these branches here too. A very interesting way of doing this. Now I'm going to make this tree bark here kind of interesting. I wanted this tree bark to have some character. Okay. So, and that tree limb hanging over there, I'll be finishing that too. I'm liking the background, the different colors and stuff. I'm liking the water, it's got the different colors. Like the sky. Okay. So with a liner brush, a rigger brush, I'm using raw umber. So with everything smearing, the trick to it is you put your paint on there, you have a light hand, and you twirl your brush as you're moving, as you're putting on the tree branches. You twirl it, and that's how you get the brown to stay on there without getting all kinds of contamination. Plus, it gives it more of a natural look, more of a natural branch look. And you can go in and out of the tree, out of the leaves. You don't have to go straight, across. You can go in and out. But you can also come back over them when it's, when you're doing the final touch up on your paintings. I hope that you guys have been doing good and having a wonderful week. I hope that everyone had a wonderful Father's Day. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to put a little bit of shade in here. After I finish this here, we'll just take some more of that raw umber. We'll kind of darken it up here on the side of this tree trunk here. And give it some more characteristic looks, maybe a little bit of ruggedness. And we'll finish it up, and I will finish the painting up, and it should be ready by next week. Wishing you a wonderful day, evening, morning, and night. Sincerely yours, John. A little bit yellow mix with some umber there. Just like that. I might even put a little landmass in there. I'm not sure. And we'll put a bird right here. Maybe that's a crow or something.